One of the scientific principles of management, what Mr. Frederick Taylor has listed down, is the use of science and not the rule of thumb. Before knowing this principle and going into the depth of it, first understand what do you mean by rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means, well, everyone who creates some understanding about certain things. Now, these understandings are based on their judgment, their practice, and their experiences. Not necessarily every time the judgment of a manager or their practices or experience are of top level. So, whenever you use rule of thumb, there are likely chances that the efficiency or efficient use of resources is not happen. On the contrary, if you use scientific method, always you use the best method and best output. Let us take an example that why the rule of thumb method should be replaced with the methods which are based on scientific tools, techniques, and approach. Well, let's say I manufacture chairs. So for a chair, my judgment tells me that a chair should be manufactured in 1 hour. But if you do scientific approach, scientific techniques or methods and actually identify that how much time a chair required to be get manufactured, you'll understand if you do proper time study and work study and motion studies, it is clearly evident that a chair requires only 45 minutes. So this judgmental approach, rule of thumb, and a scientific approach has a huge difference. Automatically what happens if you follow the scientific approach? Yes, the efficiency of the organization increases. So, in order to increase the efficiency of the organization, every management should give up on using the rule of thumb method and start adopting methods which are based on scientific approach. In fact, Taylor goes ahead and tells you that the scientific approach, scientific methods, techniques should be used even into very, very small tasks, just like loading the finished goods into the truck. Even that small task can be scientifically studied. Now, advantage of this scientific study? Well, whenever we do a scientific analysis and study of any activity, first thing what we do, we try to identify different ways of doing the task. So once we know different ways of doing the task, what happens? We choose the best one. Automatically, since while studying different methods, we start knowing what is the standard required time and standard output time to achieve that task. So automatically, manager is in a better position to take decision and keep control on the organization, which eventually leads to what? Reduction in time utilization, reduction in human energies, and increase in the output level. Let us take an example. Let's say I'm manufacturing shoes. So if I know with scientific approach and tools and technique, just like time study, motion study, and work study, and so on and so forth, right? I understand that the pair of shoes can be manufactured in 20 minutes. So from raw material to finished good, right from assembly to the selling dispatch level, the shoes pairs can be reached in 20 minutes. So I know now standard required time. So whenever I give this task to an employees or workers, I know in 1 hour how much they can produce. 3. If they produce less, I understand that their efficiency is going down. I can have a better control on management. If they are producing more, I should be little worried about the quality, or I'll check what is it doing. But scientific method gives me a better control, reduction in time, increase in output level, and less human energy utilized for same output level. Automatically, organization's efficiency increases. Hence, in nutshell summary, well, what is the principle of scientific management, that is use of science, not the rule of thumb, says that in order to increase the efficiency of the organizations, well, the organization should give up on rule of thumb method and start adopting What? Methods based on scientific approach, tools, and techniques. In fact, this rule of thumbs is basically means that management is taking decision based on his judgment, and not necessarily the judgment can be correct. Past experiences, the practices can be correct, but scientific methods gives us different methods of doing the same task, which helps us choosing the best one. Manager is ready with what? Yes, standard time required or standard required time to do a task, and also standard output time, which helps in eventually is better control on the employees. It's a reduction in time required for output level increases, and even the human efforts are reduced to get the same output. Hence, Frederick Taylor believes that there should be scientific approach in every small activities what an organization or even individual does. So, he believes that use of science is much more important than the use of rule of thumb.